Hi, Zesties. I'm sorry, I'm not so zesty today as usual. Life is lifing hard. To be honest, I don't even have any appetite or anything. I'm kind of like forcing myself to eat because I drove by Pollo Tropical, Pollo Tropical. I don't really know how you're supposed to call it. And I always like to eat here when I pass by because it reminds me of South Florida where I really should have stayed. I really should have stayed in Fort Lauderdale. But you know what? No, you know what? No shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I will have my penthouse. Everything will be great. You know what I mean? But anyway, I just decided to stop by Pollo Tropical because, as I said, this place reminds me of South Florida, and I like to eat here whenever I drive by. I should have got a drink, but I was being cheap and didn't get a drink. And I can't believe a quarter chicken costs like $8, almost $9 now. Back in the day, it used to cost like 5, or even, I think that back in the day, this cost like 4 something. Let me try to show you the food, because I have not really figured out how to get an angle where you can see me. I think I have to put my stand over there, but I'm dealing with so much that I have to focus on survival right now, you know what I mean? And I'm all deep in survival mode, and I just really wish I thought one day I would escape the survival mode, but maybe that's just not for me. Maybe I'm a survivor. Cue the Beyonce song. Um, but okay, let's talk real. Let's talk real, that's these. So, I just went to an apartment complex that I would like to live in. And I asked them if they had any openings. And they said that they do have openings at the end of April. You know, I'd like to move at the beginning of April, but I feel like the end of April's fine, right? And it's only $100 more than what I'm paying now. Although it's a studio and I have a 1 bedroom now, but I haven't even been able to sleep in my bedroom for 6 months. Because my neighbors make so much noise that the only way I'm able to sleep is sleeping in the living room. So I don't even use my bedroom now. You know what I mean? So You know, Mississippi seems like a good idea for sure, but now that I've found that apartment, I'm kind of feeling like maybe I should stay here. Because at least I did the chicken good today. Thank you, Pollo Tropical. I usually complain and say, "Oh, well, the Broward, in Broward County, they do it so much better." Which I'm not even gonna lie, like all the food in Broward County is way, way better. But you know, um, yeah. So now I'm thinking like maybe I should just stay in Tampa and move into this new place in a month. You know. I'm sure I can survive a month. But then, the next place also, the studio is ground floor, and I'm worried, like, oh my gosh, well, what if I have crazy neighbors again? But I feel like these ones are like extra crazy, you know what I mean? Because I get it. If you live in an apartment, you're going to hear your neighbors sometimes, and like I used to hear my neighbors sometimes upstairs. And like I've mentioned before, all the neighbors that I've had are male female couples, and they all seem to have serious like domestic issues. So I would hear them fight and argue and whatever, but nothing like these people. But like, because I recorded the video of my neighbors screaming and I reported it to the apartment complex, they sent out a violation letter. And now basically the landlord of this particular apartment can choose to, evict them or do something or not. But now I don't feel comfortable or safe living where I'm living. Because what if these psychos think it's me who reported them? You know what I mean? But to be honest, because they're so loud and crazy, it's totally possible that anyone reported them. Because, like, when you heard that video that you heard, they were doing that, like, outside. So anyone could do it. But, I don't feel safe. I don't feel comfortable. To be honest, the new apartment complex that I looked at, though, looks a lot safer than mine. Or mine used to be, when I first moved there, it was nice, but my whole area has gotten really bad. So, you know, I just don't know what to do. This whole survival thing is so crazy. And, you know, I just really wish that things were different, but I kind of just have to deal with the situation that's happening right now. But then now there's this whole situation where I have to figure out, I have to think right now if I'm gonna move to this new place or not. Because there's so much competition for apartments now, which is so crazy because, like I've said before, when I moved to Florida in 2017, cheap as can be. Cheap, even in Miami, it was cheap. And even when I moved here to Tampa in 2020, there was no competition of it was like, there were apartments for $700 back then. And it was like, there was no people weren't fighting over apartments in Tampa. You know what I mean? So I feel like if I'm going to move to this place, I need to apply like as soon as possible, you know. But now I'm waiting to see if the landlord will evict the crazy screamers. But like, I can't really. I can't really like live with this hope or whatever. I kind of have to like do something like now. So maybe I'll just apply to this apartment and hope for the best. Cause like, although I would like to move to Mississippi, um, it would be, well, I guess it wouldn't be like a huge move, but it would certainly be more inconvenient than me moving just to another area of Tampa. And I think that this area might even be better for me because it's closer to downtown. You know what I mean? And I like city. I don't like urban. I mean, rural. So, and Mississippi is definitely rural. So, you know, it's just crazy having to make all these decisions, and it's crazy how expensive everything has gotten. But if I send in that application now, And I'm saving this. I'm not throwing it out. If I send in the application now, then I'd for sure have a place to move into in like a month. So, maybe I should just do that. You know what? Maybe I'll just do it and see what happens. Cause, that would be easier and more convenient than packing up all my stuff and moving to Mississippi. Even though, to be honest, I kind of want to do that because I feel like my life would be easier and more relaxed there. But on the other hand, it would be much more convenient for me to just move to another place here. And now that I've found, now that I found a place that's affordable, I can't even believe I'm calling 1,200 affordable. But, maybe I should just move there. I really don't know. I really don't know. I really, I really, 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 really don't know. Anyway, sorry I'm not so zesty today. Wait, hold on. Just because I'm not so zesty today, let me do a little voguing and sashaying and whatever before I go away, okay? Bye, zesties.